It's the Day of the Dead. Maria is visiting the grave of her son, Ivan, and is still looking for answers.
When I'm here, I ask him to send me a sign, perhaps in a dream, so I can find out who did this to him and why.
In 2016, armed men broke into her home. They were looking for her neighbour, suspected of belonging to a criminal gang, but took Ivan instead. His body was found 5 years later. Before his corpse was eventually returned to his mother, rushing to end their investigation, authorities tried to deliver her several different corpses.
Sometimes I have my doubts, because of everything that's happened. I wonder whether it's really my son who's buried here.
In Mexico, 111,000 families are still searching for disappeared relatives. Maria carries out excavations with the people who helped her when she went through her ordeal.
Ahora no hay cuerda. Entonces vamos a bajar con las manos.
Today, Maria and her friend Tranquilina are going down a gorge. A human femur was found here a few days ago. Other bodies could follow.
We push this metal bar in and then smell the tip. If there was a corpse here, the smell would be foul. Human corpses have a much stronger smell than animals.
The families use makeshift tools and have had to teach themselves forensic research techniques. They're the only ones searching.
I think the authorities should do this. But when they show up, all they do is sit around and watch. They just find a comfortable spot and sit in the shade.
I have no confidence in the state or the local authorities.
Why not?
Because I've been looking for my daughter for 9 years, and the investigation has not advanced.
When bodies are found, cases aren't necessarily solved.
We find a body, we exhume it, we take it to the morgue, but there the body can disappear a second time. They've actually lost bodies.
And Tranquilina knows. In 2017, a mass grave was found in the region where her daughter had disappeared. With corpses overwhelming morgues, authorities had secretly and illegally buried at least 85 bodies there, without logging it in any register. 52,000 unidentified corpses or bones are currently stored in Mexican morgues. In 2016, the figure was 178.
Public prosecutors have been overwhelmed by all this violence.
Edgar Cortés has watched this crisis play out from the inside. He was a member of the Extraordinary Mechanism for Forensic Identification, founded in 2019 to create a national genetic information directory. He gave up a year later, frustrated by administrative obstacles.
In Mexico today, there are lots of different databases that can range from an Excel spreadsheet in a public prosecutor's office to a notebook in a local search commission. But the information isn't integrated, so it can't be cross-referenced.
In this laboratory for identification, an average of 17 bodies arrive every day. The genetics department struggles to keep up.
Most people demand a DNA test, but that means laboratories are overwhelmed because we have to carry out DNA tests even when bodies have already been identified by other forensic methods.
Gangs also use tried and tested techniques to make their work harder.
Organised crime uses corrosive agents and acids to make body tissue break down faster.
The Institute has extracted data from around 7,000 bones.
These cards are where we keep the blood samples and genetic profiles for each case.
But these data are not yet integrated into a nationwide system. The Mexican government says there's one in the pipeline, but that it's been delayed. A lack of resources, technology, and personnel. The forensic sector struggles to recruit because of the threat from organised crime. In her forensic anthropology class, Roxana only has 8 students.
Since I started my studies, many professors have told us that we're going to die young. It's really shocking.
The road is long. We all know it will take decades for Mexico to break out this cycle of violence. In the meantime, we have to train professionals.
In 2007, authorities said there were 7 mass graves in the country. Today, there are almost 6,000. With the vast majority of investigations stalled, frustration amongst the families of the disappeared is building.